JBN, we keep you informed. Construction worker gunned down in tense Seaview Town in St. Ann. A construction worker was shot dead in Damhead, Seaview Town in St. Ann on Thursday night. The deceased man has been identified as 46-year-old Vivian Scott of Mammy Bay in the parish. Reports are that Scott was sitting inside a Toyota motor car when he was pounced upon by armed men. The gunmen shot him several times in the chest. The police have not yet established a motive for the killing. Seaview Town has been on edge following the killing of two men from the community at a beach in Mammy Bay on Sunday. The deceased then were identified as 24-year-old Jamil Ellis, alias Munga, and a 32-year-old O'Neill Winter, alias Pumba, both of Seaview Town, St. Ann. The St. Ann's Bay police reported that about 10:54 a.m., both men were on the beach when armed men traveling a Toyota motor car approached them. The assailants alighted from the vehicle and opened gunfire, hitting Ellis and Winter before making their escape in the vehicle. The police were summoned and the victims were taken to the hospital where they were pronounced dead. Following the incident, Seaview Town became tense, resulting in several government institutions there, including the Seaview Town Academy and the health center, being kept closed on Monday. The police have since sought to reassure residents of the community by increasing their presence in a bid to return calm to the area. St. James woman arrested on gun charges. A woman was arrested during a police military operation on Ramtali Boulevard in Cornwall Courts, Montego Bay on Friday, December 13. Police reports are that between 2:45 p.m. and 3:30 p.m., a premises was searched during which a Glock semi-automatic pistol, a magazine containing 15.40 cartridges, 29 lead sheets containing identity information, and an air rifle with 77 metal balls were found. The woman who was at the location was arrested, the police said. Her identity has been withheld pending further investigations. Two fishermen on ganja and gun charges in Westmoreland. Two fishermen have been charged for several breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act in Negril, Westmoreland, the police have reported. Charged are 32-year-old Luke Blackwood of Crawford District, St. Elizabeth, and 48-year-old David Williams of White House in Westmoreland. Reports from the Narcotics Police are that the Jamaica Defence Force Coast Guard on Thursday, December 5, about 11 p.m., intercepted a vessel off the coast of Negril. The vessel was searched and 900 pounds of compressed ganja, a .38 revolver, and 54 assorted rounds of ammunition were found aboard, the police said. The items were seized and the two men who were on board the vessel were taken into custody and handed over to the police. After conducting their investigations, the Narcotics Police subsequently charged the men jointly with the offences of 1. Possession of ganja, 2. Dealing in ganja, 3. Taking steps preparatory to export ganja, 4. Conspiracy, 5. Use of conveyance, 6. Illegal possession of a gun, and 7. Illegal possession of ammunition, 2 counts. The drugs have an estimated street value of $3.6 million. The men are scheduled to appear in the Westmoreland Parish Court on Thursday, December 19, the police said. St. James councillors awarded millions in defamation suit against TVJ, CVM, and the state. Two councillors from the St. James Municipal Corporation were awarded millions of dollars in damages in the Supreme Court on Thursday after they successfully brought lawsuits against two media entities. One of the councillors was also successful in a suit against the Attorney General. Councillor for the Granville Division, Michael Troop, successfully brought a defamation suit against Television Jamaica, TVJ, and CVM TV. Councillor for the Salt Spring Division, Sylvan Reed, also successfully brought an action against TVJ, CVM, and the Attorney General. The lawsuits were in relation to the arrest in 2012. PMP Councillor Michael Troop, who at the time was Deputy Mayor of Montego Bay, along with PMP Councillor Sylvan Reed and 3 other men were taken into custody in July 2012 following a series of raids by the Lottery Scam Task Force. 2 of Mr. Troop's sons were also arrested. One of them pleaded guilty to gun charges after appearing before the gun court. But the 2 men took the Police Commissioner Owen Ellington and then head of the Lottery Scam Task Force, Superintendent Leon Clunis, to court for utterances made in the media following the arrest. The pair included TVJ, CVM TV, and the government in the suit that was filed in November 2012. The Attorney General was named as representative of the government, being held liable for the actions of the police. The men claimed they were falsely and maliciously arrested. The suit also claimed certain words, which were spoken by Superintendent Clunis and Commissioner Ellington, that were aired by both TVJ and CVM, defamed Mr. Troop and Mr. Reid. In the ruling on Thursday, the court awarded Mr. Troop $11 million in damages for defamation against the two broadcasters. Meanwhile, Mr. Reid was awarded a total of $12 million in damages. He was awarded $8.5 million in damages for defamation against the two media entities. In addition, he was awarded a further $3.5 million in damages for false imprisonment and malicious prosecution against the government. Reacting to the verdict, Mr. Reid says his life was upended by the claims, but he says he has been vindicated. When contacted, Mr. Troop said he'll consult his lawyer before commenting. But in a series of Facebook posts, he expressed delight at being vindicated by the ruling. He also issued a warning to those he says would attempt to drag his name through the mud. Meanwhile, CEO of RGR Gleaner Communications Group and Managing Director of Radio Jamaica Limited, Gary Allen, says the organization is reviewing the judgment with a view to appealing the decision. Mr. Allen says the group believes TVJ followed journalistic principles when it faithfully and accurately reported the information provided by the police. Mr. Allen says he believes the law underpinning defamation gives the broadcaster a defense that's grounded in journalistic principles. Holness says government committed to solving crime problem. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who had promised Jamaicans that once he was elected they would be able to sleep with their windows and the doors open, says his government remains resolute in dealing with the crime problem, including murders. The Prime Minister, who is in Japan, issued a statement to the media on Thursday following the killing of 4 persons in Kitson Town, St. Catherine, and a young politician in Seaview Gardens, St. Andrew. Crime impacts all of us, and even the Kitson Town case. Our Minister of Culture, Olivia Grange, lost members of her family. We grieve with her and all Jamaicans who have lost loved ones. The government will continue to build out the intelligence and investigative capabilities. We are seeing progress in many areas, but we cannot relent, said Holness. The Prime Minister said that recent convictions demonstrate that there is an improvement in the work of the police. We now have cases before the court against dozens of gangs, an unprecedented development. We just saw the conviction of one of the most notorious gangsters in Spanish Town, and one of his cronies is before the courts, said the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, the private sector organization of Jamaica, the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, and the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce are strongly encouraging the leadership of the political parties to urge their spokespersons to channel their efforts towards expediting the much-needed national consensus on crime. Like all Jamaicans, we continue to be concerned that despite efforts, crime remains at crisis levels, the groups said. The private sector groups said they have noted the heightened level of political rhetoric building around the state of crime in the country. They said that the discourse has seemingly moved away from collaborative to once again combative on the matter. We call on both leaders to keep their teams focused on taking a joint and collaborative position on fighting crime as their primary objective. And while we continue to support the team working on finalizing the consensus views, we similarly urge them to expedite conclusion of this united view on the steps that need to be taken to reduce this growing scourge of violence and crime that grips our nation, they said. Don't use bush medicine for dengue, warns Tufton. While dengue remains a major health scare across the island, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is urging Jamaicans not to seek to self-treat with herbal remedies, but to seek treatment from trained medical professionals. Tufton said that while herbs held medicinal value, persons suffering with symptoms of dengue should not seek relief from remedies like the papaya leaf, the latest hot topic. I am not suggesting that these home remedies don't have healing properties or medicinal qualities. The challenge is what other qualities they have and whether it's appropriate to solving the problem at that particular point in time, said the minister, who was addressing Thursday's town hall meeting in Negril, Westmoreland, where the dengue fever was discussed extensively. Dengue has claimed at least 46 lives in Jamaica this year, and there have been more than 6,000 notifications of the mosquito-borne disease. Dr. Janice Simmons Fisher, who operates the Bioregeneration Integrated Medical Center, recently said that the use of papaya for relief from dengue-related symptoms have been known for some time. It is fairly well established. A lot of the research comes out of Asia, but it has been demonstrated over again, said Simmons Fisher. However, Tufton has warned that self-medication for dengue may carry serious risk. Don't try bush medicine before you see the doctor, and let the doctor direct you whether the bush medicine or something else should be tried, said Tufton. What we have done is to perfect the art of trying to apply our own prescription using our limited pharmacy, the medicine that's normally located in the bathroom to treat illness. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.